Blog Talk Radio.
How to Catch a Cheater is tonight's show, and we're going to get right into it. I'm really excited to bring you tonight's show. I feel like we're going to bring you a ton of material that can really help you out in real life right now, tips that you can use. And it's a sensitive topic. I think it's fair to say that whether you are a male or a female, you probably at one time or another have either encountered being cheated on, were the cheater, or you definitely know somebody, have a friend that was involved in either of those. So today what our goal is to bring a bunch of information forward so that you can know without a shadow of a doubt whether someone was cheating, have factual proof, and really leave out the guessing and suspicion and things like that. There's a couple warnings I want to get out of the way right away just so we've got our legality covered. We're going to cover a few items today that may be seen by some as hacking, or it may be seen as activity that infringes on others' privacy, but we are doing it for educational purposes. So we in no way encourage you to do these things. And if you do have the evidence that someone is cheating, please heavily weigh that against that person and know that if you are confronting them, you're doing so in a safe environment where there's not going to be repercussions for that. Or, get out with your proof and then confront them later. So we don't endorse necessarily any of these things, and I feel like that's a statement we got to get out of the way right away. So without further music or interruptions, because we've got way too much to cover today, we're going to get into it. And we're going to be going over a lot of different topics. We should be joined shortly here. I'm keeping an eye on the studio board for Captain Jack coming in, Devil Doll, Jesse Hart, maybe Gangster Ace. So how does it start? The signs that people cheat is one of the first topics we're going to go into. Ways to get a verification right away without a lot of work, for free, easy steps to get proof. What do you do after they know their cheating is going to be kind of coming up in the next half hour? And so let's roll into it. On the videos area at thegigapig.com, if you want to go there quickly, you can kind of follow along. You just go to thegigapig.com. You don't have to. You can just listen. I'll walk you through it. There's a lot of videos that are going to help you in this area. Everything from tracking a vehicle with GPS and how it's real time and you can actually watch it, which is actually a great tip for parents who have children who are drivers as well. And if you do suspect you have a cheating mate, we've got videos up here that will show you how to track a vehicle. We're going to go into obtaining phone records. We're going to go into getting into someone's Facebook. Again, not things we endorse, but things we're going to put out there for public knowledge because it's publicly available knowledge. We're not alluding to any big secrets you couldn't figure out yourself. We also have some self-help videos up from a bunch of different psychiatrists in the field of relationships. So we've got their advice up for you too, so you can see that. And then we've got some cell phone cloning in here, USB keylogger, which that's very simply, you plug this basically $14 and $19 device into the back of your computer, and it's going to log every keystroke. So after which, if somebody's entering their password, obviously you'd have their Facebook password or their email password, so you can see those messages they might otherwise be hiding. Before we get into kind of the ice cream and dessert of things, the how to catch somebody, I'd like to get into the warning signs. What can tip you off that someone's cheating right away, male or female? And I can tell you I've been on both sides of the spectrum, and I feel, that's just a good point of honesty to bring up. And I look on the studio board here, we've got Captain Jack in the house. What is going on, Captain Jack?
Nothing much. What are you doing?
We're rolling right into the warning signs of how to spot a cheater, male or female. Number one is when they no longer want sex or make excuses not to have sex. That's pretty much the number one. And we're going to roll along this list and identify them. And then, second half of the program is going to be the nuts and bolts of tearing it apart and how you actually find this proof, how you do it. If you want tips on your specific situation, We are accepting block calls tonight. You just have to get screened first. And Devil Doll, your mic's open now, too. You'll want to call in to 909-533-8302. All right, so number 2, when they will not allow you to access their computer or suddenly they have codes on their phone and they didn't before. So now they stay up late to work, quote-unquote, work on their computer or to play a game. They're on the computer well after you go to bed. Excessive Internet usage, especially late at night, it's a red flag. If you walk over to your partner's computer, male or female, or if you happen to be in a gay relationship, bonus points to you, and they don't want you to see the screen, they're immediately changing it to a screensaver or logging out, or if you want to use the computer quick, it's, oh, let me log out quick. Excellent sign. Number 3, it's a red flag. Doesn't mean that they're cheating. Maybe they just like privacy. But it is a red flag. Number 4, when they suddenly have to work late and they have all kinds of new obligations that take them away from the home or apartment for long periods of time. And this is, a sudden change that you're looking for. Oh, you know what? I've got a meeting. Oh, really? At 11 o'clock at night? Or something suspicious like that. And a lot of the different psychiatrists that we've got videos for today that you can look at in our video area in your spare time are going to tell you, start off with a gentle glove the first time, meaning have, an ounce of compassion, take a step back, and just, lightly check up on them. You don't have to be Dick Tracy or make lots of calls like Columbo. Just, give them the benefit of the doubt because trust is important in relationships, and that's not what we're saying. And tonight, unfortunately, or maybe, fortunately, we're not doing just relationship advice. We're telling you how to catch cheaters. So that's our aim today. Number 6, when they suddenly need a cell phone or pager and you are discouraged from ever looking at it or using it, it becomes top secret or they're very secretive about it and their cell phone or pager bill is either delivered by email or never hits the house. So very quickly, if you reverse that and you were to get the bill at the house, that's one way to track a cheater. And I've helped friends do this. I used to own a PI firm. That's where some of my background from tonight comes out. I owned a PI firm. I was under an umbrella, licensed under the state of Minnesota. So some of these tips are going to come from there. Number 8, when they arrive home and head straight to the shower or bath. This comes from an internal, basically feeling guilty about the cheating. They immediately go into the shower or bath. They've got to cleanse up, and they're afraid that you're going to smell anything on them. That's a major red flag. Number 9, they have lipstick or strange hairs or clothing on their hair or in their car. Finding strange phone numbers, receipts, and condoms can also be a clue. Ladies, or this would be for the men too, if you are with somebody who generally doesn't use condoms and now all of a sudden they have all types of contraceptive devices around, it's a good warning sign. They might be cheating. Why do you need condoms all of a sudden? You don't use them with me. Oh, and you don't want to have sex with me? Big red flag. Something to watch out for there. And let's see. Going down the list, we're going to jump to number 11. When they begin to make kinky requests or suggest wildly erotic play during sex, including things you've never done before. They're probably repeating something that they experienced outside the bedroom that they want to repeat. For her, when she gets spiffed off or dresses up provocative to go to the grocery shopping, or she's going to an everyday place but has to take an hour to get ready, I can tell you firsthand, I have experienced this one very recently, where someone, it just sets off a red flag. Now, it does not mean that that person is cheating. Some people just like to look good when they go around their family or when they're going out. So there is a difference and a distinction between paranoia, not trusting someone, and getting truth. And that's one of the things that we want to sort out today, so that you're not jumping the gun and flying off the handle and thinking that every little thing is somebody cheating. Number 16, when they are always tired or demonstrate noticeable lack of energy and interest in the relationship. When they're kind of backing away, when they don't really seem like they're plugged into the relationship anymore, and you can combine that with the internet usage and other things, great to use their cheating. When they begin to intentionally look at or flirt with the opposite sex, when in the past this is something they would have rarely done. That's a red flag as well. Number 18, when you notice that they are reluctant to kiss you or accept their affection, especially in public around certain people. This can be a good warning sign because if you're normally going around someone and they would be affectionate with you around that person, now all of a sudden they're kind of backing away or making excuses why you can't be intimate with them in public. It's a great sign that they're afraid that that person that they've been hooking up with is going to stumble on and see this. We're jumping around this list because we're going to release this full list to you, and it's got just about 34 of the top red flags. Now, these are red flags. This isn't how to catch a cheater, but that's the first step. It's finding out, is there reason to believe this person is cheating? And we'll put this list in the chat room right now, let you check it out and digest it. I would encourage, if you do think your partner is cheating, print this list out, keep it for your records, share it with a, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, so that you have it for your records. I know I'm personally going to keep a copy of it. So it's going in the chat room right now on VTR. If you're listening via live stream or 1,000 mics, we'll get it to you as well. And if you're over on thegigapig.com, we will post it in the forum for you. So, Double Doll, Captain Jack, have either of you been cheated on?
Yep. That's my recent ex. He cheated on me 4 times.
Okay, and were any of these signs there, the signs that we're going over today?
Oh, yeah. Like the late nights and stuff, and him being on the computer a lot. I didn't really notice it very much because he worked night shift. So I would be asleep when he would get home, but I would wake up at I'd go to bed at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. He'd get home around 6. I'd wake up to go to the bathroom or something. He'd be on the computer, he'd hurry up and look and see who's up or whatever, and he'd be like, go back to bed, and I'll be like, well, why don't you come to bed? And he'd be like, I'll be there soon, and 3 hours later, he'd come to bed, so
yeah,
stuff like that. And there was also, for a while, he was kind of doting on me. Like, he'd buy me things randomly, or he'd get me something unexpected, and he'd be all, here you go, sweetie, or like he felt bad for doing something, even though I didn't ask for anything. And I never did ask for much, if I asked for anything at all. So, stuff like that. But I didn't want to think about it. I didn't want to go there. So I was just like, oh, maybe he's just being nice. Maybe, he's been a grumpy butt to me, so maybe he's just apologizing or whatever. So stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's hard to notice sometimes.
You raise a good point that wasn't even on our list, and this is this, mysterious affection or gifts that seemingly come out of nowhere, and it's, more a sign of guilt than it is of affection, which is kind of sad when you think about it. And
yeah.
I think, women, I would say, and, anybody's welcome to argue with me, that women have a better instinctual presence when it comes down to knowing whether their man is cheating. I think it's just a gift that men don't. We're not as astute. We're not as keen to it. Yes, we pick up on it, but not as well as women. Women are like hound dogs to cheating.
Oh, yeah, we are.
And
Yeah, they
we
are.
really are. So, I knew, but I just kept saying to myself, nah, maybe I'm just being paranoid. But had I gone and checked his emails, or had I gone and looked at his phone records, or, just noticed that he was locking me out of his phone, randomly, and just saying, oh, it's just so Kiara can't get in the phone, or whatever. But it's just stuff like that. You got to really look at it, and you have to know your partner. You really have to know your partner. And if something is amiss, then you got to check in on it. Hands down.
You do.
You got to check in on it.
I feel like a good portion of this show, in a way, for me, is a confessional. And what I mean by that is at the beginning of the show, I cited that I've been on both sides of the fence. And that is just my self-admission in saying that I was a scumbag and a cheater, and I've been on that side of the fence. I've also been cheated on. I've been in relationships where I've been completely faithful, so I know what it feels like both ways. And
Yeah.
being that I've had the PI company in the past, and I'm very tech savvy. I fully think with the three of us on here tonight, we're going to give information to people where 100% they will never be cheated on again more than once or twice. They will immediately be able to detect it. They'll be able to get the proof, and they'll have all the tools at their disposal to make a firm decision without hiring a PI. This will basically teach you how to go about getting any of this information. So I want to get a couple things out right away on the air, so bear with me. If you need to Twitter in a question because you don't want to call on the air, you're welcome to do so. You can send it to the Dr. John or at the Dr. John. If you want to email it, you can email it to the drjohnshow@gmail.com, or you can get on Yahoo Messenger, and you can also send it to dr_john@ymail.com. And the purpose of that is we want to leave all lines of communication open for people to get their questions in tonight, because we are going out across several different networks tonight. We want all the questions to get answered. So I think we're not doing a whole lot of music tonight because we have way too much to get into, but we are going to take a brief break here for a couple minutes while we're rounding up some of the people that are going to be coming on. And then we're going to get right into it. So I don't know, Captain Jack, I know you've got a board up probably on your end, or do you want me to pick what our music's going to be?
He's currently parking cars.
Yeah, I'm like a valet parker right now, Dr. John. My family kind of just ran in, like, as soon as we started the show, you know, typical timing. I'm like, you need to do this and that. I'll tell you what, Dr. John, before we go to break, I really miss my own house. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, I hear ya. Well, we will be back with everybody in just about 2 minutes, so hang with us. You're listening to The Dr. John Show. We're rolling back into it already, and we're covering how to catch a cheater. We're joined today by Captain Jack and Double Doll. Shortly here, we should be joined by a couple other people, but if not, we'll roll with it. So I think we'll take it in segments, and we'll try and get through all the different ways to catch a cheater. Just a few of the methods we're going to give out to you today is how to track online conversations, GPS trackers, hidden cameras. If you want to do that, we're going to cover a bunch of free ways that you can do it that won't cost you anything: RFID tags, spy cams, and password workarounds. Some of the history for password workarounds: I've done supervisor work for Apple iPhone, work for Microsoft, a bunch of different companies there. So I'm going to give you as much tech knowledge as I can in the simplest form so you can take it and no matter what your expertise, use it. So we're also including videos in our videos area so you can watch those and kind of get to the bottom of it. So let's start with how to track online conversations and password workarounds because we can mold both of those together fairly easy in the first one. If you weren't listening during the first 10-15 minutes, don't worry. I'm going to bring you up to speed. There is a video at thegigapig.com under videos. You can click on it. I did take off needing a password to log into there today because I wanted people to be able to get in there and not have to worry about signing up on the site. The first thing we're going to look at is a USB keylogger. There is a ton of companies that make these. Now there's the actual physical device that is a tiny little USB device that you stick on the back of what hopefully would be a desktop computer. I wouldn't recommend this for a laptop because it's going to stick out like a sore thumb. But on a desktop, you simply stick it in the back of it, and it's going to log 28,000 to 30,000 keystrokes. So when that person types in, obviously, their name, you can pretty much hit Control-F on that, or you can just search the text for where they're entering their username for their email. The next keystrokes after that are going to be recorded in a text file for you to look at is going to be their password. So whatever accounts they go to, whether it's Facebook, Gmail, Yahoo Messenger, you're going to have all of their passwords. Now, there is a physical device which is for the desktop, which is what the videos of on the website, but you can also get one that's just software. So if they're on a laptop, you can install it. And in going into these, that's why I mentioned that it's kind of like a confessional for me. I'm giving out all this information because I have no intention on cheating on anybody ever again. I've been on both sides of the fence. It's no fun, and I haven't, So that's why I have no problem giving all this out. One of the next, videos we're going to go into is cloning cell phones. But back to the USB keylogger, if it's the software, there's tons of different software sites that you can Google on your own. For our own legalities, we're not going to give out any sites, but you can Google them on your own in your free time if you'd like. There's companies that will allow you to download software that's going to be key tracker. So key tracker software would be your key search or the words you want to enter into Google to find these pieces of software. Now, we're going to go into different things. Say you have a spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, or partner who you think is cheating. You can do a mobile cell phone tracking. Now, for most of these, it's going to require you to have their phone for about 10 to 15 minutes so that you can tether it or take a USB cable and connect it to your computer to their phone so that you can install the software. Very few of them are going to let you do it unless you can get a physical hold on this person's phone. There's a couple that claim they can, but I would bank only on the ones that you can install. And you're not going to see, or I should say the person who owns this phone isn't going to see that it's on it. They're not going to notice it unless they are, I don't know, pretty much A+ certified or a huge techno geek, which is, yeah.
That would be my ex.
Yeah, there you go. That would be some people.
Yeah,
so that's,
be
that's
careful
one.
with that.
So you'd have to tether it and you'd have to install the software. There's other companies, like I said, that will allow you to do it without that. So you just know the person's number and you can trace them and kind of watch them live time using Google Earth or MapQuest. You just take in the coordinates, pop them in. So in other words, to simplify this, if they say they're at work and you see they're 3 towns away, they're probably not telling the truth. Or they have that late night meeting that they say is downtown and they're out in the country. You know, fill in the blanks whichever way you can. This cell phone tracking software is going to give you a definitive location, and it's within 8 inches. So if the person, you confront them, and they say, oh, no, I wasn't there, you can say, really? Because this is accurate to 8 inches. And, you know, again, we advise in the beginning of the show, watch how far you press it because you don't want to fight with somebody. But this is more for your own validation, so whether you are a man or a woman, you can know whether it's time to leave. You can have your own proof for your own peace of mind, because the last thing we want to do is incite fights. But we do want to empower people to have the information in front of them. So taking another look at some different devices you can use. There's a lot of them out there. There's some very simple ones you can build for the car that are motion-activated tape recorders. again, these are on the paid side. We'll go into the free ones too. But you would just install this under maybe the steering column or, under the glove box behind the back where the firewall is. And it'll only turn on when there's motion in the car or when some of them, I guess, are sound censored. So when the car door closes, it'll start recording. Some of them can do 8 to 30 hours. And that'll give you a really good sense if you think, there's been somebody in my car and I know he has somebody in there. Well, this will help you prove it. And most of the solutions for those recording devices are under $40, which is a pretty good fix instead of wasting 10, 15 years in a marriage that's going downhill.
Yeah.
So,
I wasted 6 in mine.
So how did you finally figure out, Devil Doll, to steer away from this stuff for a little bit? How did you finally figure out that your man was cheating?
He went to jail. He got caught on the side of the road with a 17-year-old girl, and he didn't have the balls to call me. He called our neighbor. And our neighbor came over. He's pounding on the window, pounding on the door. He's like, your husband's in jail. He won't tell me what's going on. And later that night when they, they post the things on the police websites and everything, I read what he got arrested for, and that's when I figured out that he was cheating on me. Now, I didn't leave him then, which was a stupid move. I tried to stay with him because of our child. But that's when I found out that he had cheated on me, and that's when he told me that he had cheated on me more than once. So, yeah, I played dumb for a long time because I wanted the whole family scene. I wanted mommy, daddy, and baby, and I wanted all of that. So, just fair warning to people out there that are kind of, or have been, or possibly will be in that kind of situation. If something happens like that, get out when you can, because later down the road, it just gets more complicated, like bad complicated. So
it's true, and once you know, and it's in your mind and it's kind of festering around, it's a good idea. And that's why we stress so heavily during the show to just, if it's for your own knowledge and think other things, great. Otherwise, once you've got this information, it's probably a good time to exit the relationship, even if it's only for a couple of days to get a break, because when you're carrying around that burden and that information, it can lead to anger and hostility and fights, and that's the last thing we want. So, use this as a tool.
Yeah. We had to go through a lot of stuff. Like, we went through marriage counseling and all that for 6 months, and everything was great, and then he fell off the wagon again, so to say. So it was
actually
pretty bad.
I just wanted to add to the list of places to find information. Dr. John, when I was learning some tech stuff from you, I actually learned this trick from you, as a matter of fact, which I shall not say where or how I got the info, because I'm not sure Devil Doll wants that on the air, but let's just say I did a little tech work on a certain unnamed device and found certain sensitive info that, let's just say he probably knew that the particular device it was in, he probably knew it was there because when he saw it was missing from his desk, he was pissed.
He went berserk, like totally berserk. He's like, you find it and you find it now, or let's just say that it was. It was my husband. There was a device on his desk, and it happened to have information on it, and the captain fixed it, and we went through it, and basically there were things on there of him proclaiming his love for another woman. So it gets worse. It was the woman that he wanted to have live with us because she was going through a hard time, and they were totally lying to me through their teeth every single day. So it was pretty bad.
Well, that brings up a lot of good ones for some cheap tricks that you can get into. And, there's different programs that are already on your computer that could be of a great help to you. One of them is going to be Snapback. I'm going to try and not get too technical. If you have questions, please call in with those. But in essence, what Snapback's going to allow you to do is whenever you think anything is deleted on your computer, it's not unless, if you do want to delete things from your computer, I would recommend using something like Wipe Drive, which is up to DoD or Department of Defense standards. It does like a 30 drag pass. Because otherwise what happens is when you mark something for deletion, all the computer says is this space can be used. It's not deleted. It just puts a little flag on it and says, hey, computer, if you want to store information, one place you could do it is here. But if you're working with a 1/4 terabyte, or in other words, 256 gig or whatever, there's so much space on the computer that information that you thought you would delete it is still sitting right there. So with things like Snapback or System Restore or going in the back ends, there's ways that you can pretty much get everything back. And depending on your budget and your size, there's lots of cool tricks you can do. If you do ever bump into or encounter, like I've told a lot of clients and people that have come to me before, friends, access to someone's Gmail just by chance, you walk by and it's logged in, it takes about 3 minutes for you to send up a pop. And that would be under settings in Gmail, or Yahoo has it as well, where you can actually pop the mail over so they never even know you have a copy of it. You'll have all their outgoing mail, you'll have all their incoming mail forever, and they'll never know. Because most people rarely go in and check their settings. So I guess a good security warning at this time would be if you are someone who's a Gmail or a Yahoo user and you want to know if anyone's ever done this to you, go under your settings tab and verify that you have pop checked off and that it's not magically forwarding to another address. And if it is, sorry, all your mail for the last whatsoever has been read, copied, and whatever. And so there's a little bit of advice on it, and what I want to do is also dedicate a lot of time to people so that they can call in and say, I've got this situation, how do I figure it out, and whatever. But until that time, we'll keep giving you little tips and tricks that you can use down the way. This one was kind of funny. This guy showed, I'm trying to get his name, he showed how to make, for like $3, turn a pair of Walmart sunglasses into Secret Spy sunglasses, which is pretty sweet. Which for me, if I try to translate things into like how could I use that, I would just leave the sunglasses sitting around the house, maybe in the closet aimed at the bed, or accidentally leave them on my nightstand. That might be a good one. I'm a big fan of Net Nanny bears too, where you've got a plush cuddly teddy bear. It's got a camera already in it. Those retail from $40 to $80. They're motion activated, so you're only going to have the action on there that you might want to, or maybe nothing. Maybe they weren't doing anything in there, just getting dressed every day. That's something that could be too.
Yeah, that could be hard to watch. You never know.
Yeah, there you go. I want to watch. Totally off topic, but still something that's very cool. Most people are probably aware that when your power goes off to your house, there's still electricity flowing through your phone line. It can range between 40 and 70 watts. I put a video up today that shows you how to harness that electricity if you're ever in a power outage, or there's some catastrophe that doesn't allow you to get the power anymore. Those phone lines will still be active and have power in them. You pretty much, it's free power from the power company, because as long as you have your phone on, your electricity can be shut off. You're still going to be able to get it. If you ever want to check out something like that, you can head over there. You're going to want to head to the Learning Lab, which is a tab on the right-hand side. You can check out cool things like that and other weird little things you can build that probably only the geeks care about, but that's okay.
Geeks rule.
Geeks rule. All right, what else are we going to go into? I'm going to go into a couple other of the signs here. One of them would be your loved one suddenly deletes all emails from the computer when they are used to accumulate the same pages. And this goes for the caller ID too. Their caller ID is always blank. Wow, have I seen that before? Their email outbox always deleted. Ding, ding, ding. They're hiding something. Now, there's a couple very, like, really just stupid, dumb tricks that you can use to catch cheaters, too. And we're going to go into a couple of those. I don't know if I want to give them away quite yet. I want to save some of the juice that we got for our second hour coming up. When they begin to volunteer to go do things that they normally wouldn't do, I want to go to the post office, but they normally hate to do that, or they rush to check the mail before you do. That's a good sign.
They take 2-hour-long trips to a friend's house, and they stay the night.
I remember that.
Yeah, it's very true. Or just the constant excuses about stuff, about...
Oh, with alcohol.
Yeah.
Remember? With alcohol.
Oh, yeah.
Easy tip for people. Cheating costs money. To play, you must pay. There's almost no way somebody's cheating without spending at least a little bit of money. When you notice an increase in ATM withdrawals, there's receipts for the bar, there's a lot of cash withdrawals. It's a good sign, a good influx off of what they normally do.
It's really good to have the online banking and stuff to check that, because it's instant. Like, as soon as the card gets swiped, you can go online and check your stuff. Like, you can catch them in the act, pretty much, if you keep up to date on that.
Yeah, instantly.
Online
That's a good point.
banking.
Awesome. One of my exes I ended up calling at a hotel, and they said they were with their parents. The only problem was this hotel was out of state, and I ended up calling them and saying, yeah, really? You're at your parents? Uh-huh, I'm there right now. Really? Because I'm calling you to a hotel room at the Super 8 in Nebraska. If you're my ex and you're listening to the show, sorry, I'm not going to say your name, but you know who you are. And I just called her, and I hung up and said, well, when you get home from Nebraska, I won't be here. And I heard, whatever, click. So, yeah, great advice, watching the banking records. And this is one thing I'll put out there. One thing you can do, it's a little tiny bit underhanded, and yeah, it's a little tiny bit sneaky. You can, if you are, let's say, a girl, and you want to know if your boyfriend is cheating, you can go on to like Bing or Google, grab a couple pictures, make yourself a Facebook profile, add a couple friends over a couple days. This whole process might take a week. Build yourself up a Facebook profile, and then just say, hey, how are you doing? And, you know, have that person be from the same town. You can just go and see if they would cheat. This is a great one for people before they get married. Even if they haven't cheated, you know, test it out. See if they would cheat.
Yep, that's a good one.
I would like to say, Dr. John, for the record, that I'm a man that if I was getting married, I can guarantee you I'd be like, get lost in though. Even, of course, if they use a sneaky trick, then I get hit for no reason because I think I'm talking to some stranger and I'm actually talking to my fiance. So that's like going to be, I'm going to get bruises, I think, from that one.
No, it's completely understandable, and we're going to go into a lot of them. I don't know if just take a break here quick. And then we're going to go into some other signs people are cheating. We posted one list for you on BTR. Live stream, you've got your list. Gigapig has theirs. And we're going to dig into it. We'll take a quick music break. Oh, go ahead, Double O.
I don't know how to word this, but don't just look for the opposite sex when you think your person is cheating, because sometimes it could be the same sex that they're cheating on you with. It happened to me twice. So just throwing that out there. Like, hey. So.
Good advice, Double Dog. We will be back in, I would say, about 4 minutes on the Dr. John Show. Stay tuned. We'll bring you a lot of good information to catch those cheating liars out there.
Hey, my name's Courtney, and you're listening to the Dr. John Show on Blog Talk Radio. Very sexy.
Coming back into it, it's 12:41 in the morning. Thanks for joining us on the Dr. John Show, How to Catch a Cheater. We're going into a lot of great tips today, and if you would like advice, you can certainly call in with a block number or not. It will not trouble us. We'll throw you over to the screening room and get you on air. You can call in at 909-533-8302, and we'll personally address your situation and give you some tips and things that you can do specifically right now in your situation to figure it out. Right now, we're off to tip number 5, which is if your loved one works with people such as at a bar or restaurant, especially as a waitress or a bartender, they might suddenly tell you not to visit them at work. This usually means they're hiding something about their workplace, whether it be something with a coworker or a regular customer such as at the bar. And I've had this personally in my own life where the person I'm dating will suddenly say, oh, no, you wouldn't want to go to this. It's going to be boring. And besides, XYZ is going to be there, and you just wouldn't like it. And that was a good sign. Some people are just so blatantly obvious, you don't even need to listen to the show. Some people will just leave and not be home from 11 at night until 11 the next morning, and they reek like, let's just be blunt, sex. And, you know, that rolls into number 8 that we talked about. They come home and they got a shower and, oh, man, I'm so sorry. Last night was just a blur. Whoa. Some of us aren't that lucky, though. Some of us don't have somebody that's just that blatantly obvious who's locking their phone all the time and doing all those things. So for those people who have a partner, whether it be guy or girl, and that person's a little bit more sneaky, the next 15, 45 minutes, whatever, is probably more so dedicated to you. Let's move over and change gears just a little bit and go over to SIM card cloning, which is good for anybody. You know, a great percentage of people have iPhones or the BlackBerry Curves. Anybody who's got a cell phone with a SIM card, it can be cloned, and it's normally about $19 or less to clone it. You can go to your local Radio Shack, or even Walmart often has them. You're looking for about a cigarette-size matchbook, little square device, and the SIM card is going to go into both ends. Sometimes the people at AT&T will even be nice enough to clone the SIM card for you. They'll charge you like $10 to do it. But what I would recommend, just for your own personal, scrutiny, so that you know you got everything right, go clone it yourself because the device isn't expensive. And then what's going to happen is every time that person's phone rings, you're going to have another phone that'll ring at the same time. So if you're lucky enough to have the same model, you pop in this cloned SIM card, you're going to see all the texts, ingoing, outgoing, you're going to see their email, everything they see live time. And those phone calls that they get, you're going to hear those too. What was most interesting to me, I think, about the SIM card cloning is that there's a handful of companies across the internet where you don't even need to clone the SIM card. You just give the person's number, and you pay a fee. It's either $80 to $800. It really depends on who you're going through. But if you've got the money to spend, there are companies out there that'll give you a map of where the person is live time on the phone. They will let you listen to the calls, text messages. Again, not things we endorse, but they are out there. So that's one option you can go to. It's a little bit more, I would say, techie, and it's a little bit more investigative than most people might be willing to get into, but it is one of the options you've got there. One of the big things also that I thought of originally when I was gathering all this stuff together was that one of the best things you can do is know the person that you're with. I know I've made that mistake. I've dated people and thought that I knew them pretty well. Turns out I didn't really know them. You can do a free people search online. There's a couple different places to do it. One of the places the Army and the Navy likes to use is zabasearch.com, which is going to be Z-A-B-A search.com. And it's going to give you a lot of information on there. Otherwise, we have a video on thegigapig.com where you can do a free people search and get the results from trusted companies like Intellis, Experian, Equifax, same people doing credit reports and checks like that. So there's another route to go. Know the person you're with.
Well, not just like background checks though either. Just you want like their personality. People hide who they really are, not just, with their past or whatever, but they hide who they actually are. So you just gotta, kind of break through those walls. Get to know that person.
Sure. So taking that a step further, are you saying ID people, or what extreme are you saying to take it with people so that you know they are who they are, or claim to be, rather?
I don't know, because I'm one of those people that, and unless I know you, like, or feel that I know you, or want to know you, I will hide aspects of myself. Like, just about everybody does. So you just got to kind of, I don't know, be on the lookout for personality changes or whatever. You just know that person. Like, if something seems odd about that person, don't even go there. Like, if it's just not working or whatever, just step back, step away, get away from that person, because they're not showing their true colors. So, and until they do, I wouldn't even go there. So.
This is true, Dr. John. I would have to say I'm one of those people that, both of you can attest to this, that I am one of those people that just don't, I'm an enigma wrapped in a puzzle, shall we say.
Yeah.
So do you think in that instance then, do you think that you've ever scared anybody away from not being completely upfront and honest? And at the same time, it poses the question, how much should you hold back? And, what sense of privacy can we have in our own lives, and what are you supposed to give up front?
Yeah. Well, your business is your business, but, like, if you're gonna be with somebody for, like, the rest of your life, it's kind of redundant to have too much privacy, because they're gonna be in your everyday lives. They're gonna be seeing you every day. They're gonna know pretty much everything about you. Sure, you're gonna want your privacy and, a couple of things to yourself, which is understandable, but if you're going to be with somebody for the long stretch, you got to know that person, because I wouldn't want to go to sleep next to a stranger every night. That's just, if I marry somebody, I want to know who I'm sleeping next to every night. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I think that ties in pretty well. I think, at least from my perspective, I think that a background check is a good piece of that. If you need to match an ID to that, I would certainly say that, personality goes a long way with that. But an acknowledgement of what you're saying, that everybody withholds something, then it seems that if everybody would almost have to go to that third date, go to that fourth date before you get more serious, and look for those signs, like Double Doll is saying, that there is something more beneath them, and you notice some, slip-ups in character, if you will, some differences in things with the way that they're acting and so forth.
Yeah.
That's good sound advice. And going back to our warning signs of cheaters, number 10 kind of plays into what Double Doll was talking about when she's saying she was getting these gifts out of nowhere. She wasn't even asking for them. Number 10, right up the list, is when they suddenly begin to treat you extremely nice, more so than usual.
Yeah.
I think men and women are definitely creatures of habit, that when we feel guilt about a certain thing, or we feel guilty, there's a lot of telltale signs about that, whether it's the showering right away when they get home, or treating you nicer, or maybe they're just far more grumpier than they normally were. I think that all feeds into there's something under the surface that isn't out there, something going on, and it's worth digging into. Number 33. Oh, go ahead.
When they start blaming you for things, like, how to explain it? I know at kind of the end of my relationship with my ex, he was blaming me for everything. Everything was my fault. Nothing was his fault. It was all my fault. Everything. The trash not being taken out, or the dishes not being done, or, our daughter not going to bed on time. It was anything and everything he could nitpick. He just it was all my fault. Nothing had to do anything with him. So he's like trying to put all the blame on the other person, not on himself. Like
Sure.
That's a big one. When they start blaming you for everything, and all you've been doing is everything you've ever been asked to do, and they blame you. Everything's just wrong. Anything you do is wrong. So that's another big one.
Oh,
Yeah,
I would like to.
So go ahead.
I would like to interject something too on a similar topic. I don't know if it's on your list, Dr. John, but I had an experience with a husband trying to push his wife off onto me multiple times. Yeah, like he used to tell me, you and her are perfect, you and her should have been married, you and her should have, not me, kind of thing. So basically, like, towards the end, I got a little bit of, like, the backlash. He was trying to say that the marriage failed partially because of my fault, which, to be honest, and to anybody who's listening, I have very strict, shall we say, self-regulations when it comes to married women. I have quite a few friends who are married, but I will not go there. Marriage is marriage, and I'm very believe in that, and even though I can be attracted to a guy's wife, I won't lie, I won't go there because it's marriage. But when a husband's sitting there telling you to do it, I feel like I felt really awkward about the whole situation, to be perfectly honest, because why is a husband who's supposedly faithful, telling me to sleep with his wife? Which, of course, I did not do. I refused to.
I don't know.
Yeah, interesting one, huh, Dr. John?
I feel like I just got a contact high of weed, but I didn't smoke any. I don't smoke weed. Yeah.
What are you drinking? I want some.
Devil Dolls, the one that she was bringing up, really fits into number 33. Your loved one seems to pick fights for no reasons, fight only to stomp out of the house and away from you. So you might, I don't know, confront them with something, and all of a sudden they get upset and storm out of the house and don't return for 3 hours. It's a great excuse for them to really just go get some from somebody else.
Yeah.
So we're going down this list of ways to identify somebody, because like I said at the top hour of the show, there's the signs people cheat, there's the ways to get verification, the easy ways to get proof, and what to do next. And again, I can't say this enough, when you do have the proof, really I wouldn't suggest confronting the person with it, unless you're in a safe environment, maybe a public place.
Not even that. Like, sometimes that can just be all bad. Like, public disturbance. I guess it depends on the person.
Yeah, I mean, it would depend on the person, but the information we're giving out is far more for you to just know. You to have your peace of mind and go on with your life without wasting a bunch of time in a marriage. Or relationship, for that matter.
Yeah. Pretty much my thing would be, I'm packing my crap. When you get home, I'm not going to be here. And leave all the information there. As to why. I caught you, you son of a bitch. Later.
Yeah, there's that, and then I think, since we've gone over some of the signs that someone is cheating, I'll go over some more of the easy ways that are free to catch someone who's cheating. If you're a PC user, I won't go too much into the Mac world unless someone calls in and says that they're a Mac user. But in the PC world, you would click on your Win symbol or your Start menu and go over to the Control panel, go to Users, and see if your name is an admin. If your name is an administrator, even if your husband has a different login who is an administrator, you have access to pretty much everything on his computer. What you're going to want to do is go to that Start menu, go over to Computer, wait for that to open. Then once it does, you're going to want to go, you can hit Libraries first. And what you're going to want to look for is recent places, downloads. We're going to skip around a little bit here because there's one key thing that I want to show you right away. All right, here we go. Under the drive, so under computer, when you're under C drive, which is the name of your computer, you're going to go under the folders. The folder you're looking for is program files for users. Go down to users. You're going to see the different names on there. So let's say your husband's login is Joe23 and he's got you locked out and you think you can't see anything. Wrong. If you're an admin, you go to the start menu and you go into the users folder and you click on his folder. Because you're an admin, you're going to see anything that's in his folder. So that's a great tip. All of his pictures, downloads, things of that nature. If you're not an admin, make an excuse for why you need to be. There's something on your computer or a program you need for work or school that you need admin access for. Boom, done. If you need more information on that or you want ways to get in and you just don't have the password, let's say you guys have separate computers, send an email to the Dr. John Show and I'll use discretion to figure out whether it's information I should give out, and I'll tell you how to crack the password, if you will, or gain access anyway. But it'll be kind of on a case-by-case basis. I don't really want to give that out to everybody. What else here? Easy ways to know they're cheating and ways to catch them. We've gone over so many. I mean, the key tracker is so powerful because it's 15, 14 to 19 bucks. Easy, done, get everything off the computer. We went over the cell phone, SIM card cloning, number tracking. Very briefly, there is a whole line of devices that are GPS tracking devices. They range from about 40 bucks to 90. You can get them at Best Buy or online. They are the size of a USB stick, so you can stick it anywhere in the car. One of them is called My Buddy, ironically, because it was first put on the market to track your toddler, and it slips right in their backpack. And it's pretty much, you hide it anywhere in the car. You go log on. It's between 15 and 30 bucks a month. You can watch where the car goes, how fast it's going, live satellite images, everything. So you can drive and potentially go there. Now, if you're lucky enough to have a mobile broadband card, which means you can use your laptop in the car, then you could literally just follow around the person a couple of miles behind, and you know right where they are. You could check up on it yourself and see where they're really going at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah. Another good thing to do is become friends with his friends or her friends. Because if you think something's up, you know, sometimes they'll be good enough to, you know, be like, hey, he or she's not seeming right. There's something going on. I just wanted to let you know. You know, sometimes that's a good thing. Like, if you become pretty good friends with your spouses or your boyfriend, girlfriend's friends, sometimes that can help you down the road. Like, it helps me quite a bit down the road. Like, I'm still friends with my ex's friends, and, you know, they keep me up to date on some of the crap he does still. Like, you know, because of my daughter and all of that. I like to know what he's doing and stuff when he's with my daughter, and sometimes even when he's not because of his behaviors. So sometimes that's a good thing to have, you know, make connections with their people, basically. So I found that to be very helpful.
Yeah, it's an excellent piece of advice. What would you do, Captain Jack? Where would you start if you thought that your partner were cheating?
I don't know, Dr. John. I'm pretty vindictive, I believe the word would be. I, first of all, would not confront, because if I suspect, I also suspect, you know, first instinct is to lie. So I would probably not start with the computer either. I would go straight for the cell phone cloning. To be perfectly honest. Snooping.
Yeah,
just because it is, like, the number one, you know, easy access route to a cheater's, you know, cheat guide to their cheater, I guess. I'm sorry, I'm not doing good terminology tonight.
No, completely okay. I totally get the drift on it. And you know, that goes back to if this is someone with a locked cell phone, there's a million ways to get around that. One of them is to tether a computer, and that's simply, if you need, again, any of this information, if you have questions, call in. We'll walk you through it or answer your questions. But you're just taking a USB cable, connecting to the computer, connecting to the phone, even if it has the password in it, most times you're going to be able to get into it and place the software on it that gives you a copy of all the text messages. It would arrive to your email, and you're going to see picture messages, where they go, maps. Yeah, you can definitely start the cell phone. And that's a good point. I mean, the best defense is someone thinking, I should say the best offense, if you will, is if they think they've got a code on it and they're completely safe, that's really when you can go in, because they're gonna be missing up something.
Oh yeah, my ex, he used to, because he locked his phone all the time, he used to leave it laying around randomly. He never kept it on him because he's like, oh, it's locked. So he would always be looking for his cell phone. And sometimes I would try to get into it. I don't know at the time how to, get into the cell phone. And I would sit there for hours on end trying to figure it out. But yeah, totally. If they lock their phone, they'll leave it out because they're like, oh, it's safe. Nobody can get into my phone. So they're not. It's a false sense of security for them. So use that seriously. In laptops too, with the passwords and everything. You said you can get into them or whatever. So it's a false sense of security when they put those passwords or locks or whatever on them, because they just leave them out, and they could be sleeping or gone or whatever, and their stuff could be there, and you just be like, oh, I got another hour or so. I could fuck with this. Let's see what we can do. So that's
and it's not hard. I think just out of respect to how many people listen to the show and how many people might listen to this later, and I don't want to give that out to everybody just because it might fall into the wrong hands. We can review those, and if you've got a situation where you actually need this help, we'll help you get into the admin of a computer if you absolutely need to. All right, Francis Farmer is asking, should you give the person that's cheated on you a bit of their own medicine? I would never preach for retaliation, ever. I don't think an eye for an eye is a good policy, and I don't.
Two wrongs don't make a right. They don't. And to be honest, my ex, he was like, oh, you can sleep with whoever you want, and it just makes them feel better. They're not in the wrong. They feel like they're completely justified in what they're doing, and it doesn't. It's not good. Two wrongs definitely don't make a right, and you're gonna feel shitty if you do that. Especially if you're a person that completely is I'm with that person. I'm not gonna be with anybody else. You're just gonna go totally against your moral standing, and it's not going to be good for you. Sure, you'll feel great for 15 minutes, but after that, you're just going to go crashing down, and you're going to feel like shit. So it's not a good feeling.
Yeah, I don't. Oh yeah, I couldn't have said it. I couldn't have said it any better. That's exactly what I was thinking too. And like I said earlier at the top of the show, there's a couple of videos from different psychiatrists and sex therapists that we've put in the self-help area of our website. And I strongly would suggest or welcome people to take a look at those videos. They're 3 to 5 minutes apiece. There's a lot of really comforting advice. Life does go on after relationships if you're in a bad one. And sometimes you just got to be thankful for the peace of mind of knowing that that person was cheating, and that you've got another door opening in front of you where you can continue on to something better and meaningful and something that's going to make you feel good in life. And really I don't work on the negative. I try and push as much negative out of my life as I can and just move on to the positive things. And, I don't know.
Yeah. One day at a time. One day at a time.
Just trying to take a quick glance at my notes here and make sure we're covering all the areas that we set out to cover. We've jumped into tons of signs that people cheat. We've posted a link to a list of like 40 of them in the different chat rooms that we've got up now. Easy steps, easy proof. We've done a bunch of those. Double Doll went into a bunch of those on the bank records. Super easy. Cell phone records, easy. Tons of them that you can do. Now, kind of the next thing I'd like to get into for a little bit. So you know they're cheating. Now what do you do, and where are you going to take it?
That's always an interesting one, because when I found out my ex was cheating, I was completely, like, I didn't sleep for like 3 days, because first off, he was in jail, and second off, I was just so uncontrollably angry. But, like, the sucky thing is when he came home, I was just so happy to see him. Like, it was, like, horrible. I was like, oh, my God, you know, like, I'm so happy to see you. You know, I'm glad you're home. But at the same time, I just want to strangle the shit out of you. I guess it depends on the emotion of that person, like, and the situation. Like, my ex situation was, we're married, we have a child, you know, do we want to stay in this relationship, see if we can make it work for the betterment of the child, or do we break up our home, you know? But, I mean, it ended up to be that now it's worse, we're worse off now than we probably would have been then, you know, with the whole situation. But I definitely think that if we had not had a child, as soon as I found out he was in jail, I would have packed up my crap and left. I would have been like, I'm done with you. I don't want anything to do with you. You can sit in jail and rot. I'm not calling you. I'm not visiting you. I'm done. So that would have been my thing, because I'd been cheated on before in the past, maybe in high school or, you know, whatever, but I was just, you know, I'm done. I don't want anything to do with you. You're going to do that, then I'm going to leave. So I don't deserve this crap.
It's a good place knowing where your relationship is at, how much effort you want to put in there. I think, you know, it's worth saying, and someone actually, ironically enough, came to my door and we were having a conversation about this today, that if you're in a marriage and you've made a commitment to someone and you're in love, that's kind of a key aspect, that you have a commitment to work through those things. If you're not in love to begin with right now and you're in a marriage, I know there's different biblical views and people who are against divorce, but if you're not in love and you've tried things like marriage counseling and other remedies, then maybe it's time to go on and find something new and, you know, or not. I want to give a quick shout-out to the Spoiler Girl who just sent us a tweet over that the Playboy Club just found a new home in Salt Lake City. Congratulations to the people over at Playboy for their new club that's going to be opening on Salt Lake City.
Nice.
So,
I'm surprised the Mormons have allowed that.
I am too. I spent some time out in Utah, and I know you got to get a little permission slip and pay a fee to even drink out there.
Yes, you do. I lived out there. I was actually born and raised out there, so I know all the lovely little laws and whatnot. So I'm surprised that they got that started out there. Really surprised. Holy crap! The Mormons are giving up.
They are.
They're just there after church.
Yeah, they need some more to go after church. Nice.
I have a feeling it's probably going to be a dry establishment.
Yeah, but I'm just surprised because it's sexual content, like the Playboy and all that. I'm really surprised because usually they're very, very against that kind of stuff. They don't want any of that anywhere. But I mean, Salt Lake City is pretty it can be pretty bad. Like, the section I lived in was pretty bad, so. But I'm still surprised.
And I think, one of the most obvious, and it's going to seem just almost absurdly stupid that we haven't even got into it today. I would say one of the top ways you can even see if someone is cheating is just to ask your partner. Sit down with them if you really have the suspicion. I completely go along with Captain Jack's view that he would not confront the person. But if you feel like you've got a relationship based in trust, ask that person and see what kind of response you get. You could go into actually watching what direction their eyes are going, or are they deviating from eye contact. But I'm boiling it more down to if you trust the person, even a little. I know that might be a contradiction considering they might be cheating. But just ask that person, see what kind of vibe you get out of it.
Yeah, I actually did that. I had noticed that when my ex was going to his UTAs for the 1 week at a month, he was a reservist, he was bringing condoms. And, I tracked it for a couple of months. I was counting them because we had some. I used to keep some in the drawer because I had friends, they would come over with their boyfriends or whatever. I'd be like, okay, if you're going to have sex in my house, you're using a condom. No ifs, ands, what's their butts. So I would keep track of how many were there so I could go buy more or whatever. And they kept disappearing, and I was like, okay, nobody's been over, nobody's asked for any, so what the hell's going on? Well, I asked him,
Sure.
And I was like, okay, where are these going? Why are you, every month, 4 or 5 of them are missing? Seriously, what's going on? He looks at me straight in the face, and he goes, I'm taking them because some of the kids, the new kids, they get drunk and they go have sex with the girls and all that. I'm like, oh, this is bullshit. Because, yeah, that's bullshit. Because I know they've got to have condoms. They just have to. I don't care how young you are. If you don't want kids or STDs, condoms. I know that because I was younger and condoms,
Yeah.
no matter what. So I was like, fool, you're lying to me, and if you're not lying to me, then my bad, but I don't believe you right now. And of course I didn't say that to him, but in the back of my mind I was like, nope, I'm investigating. So, and it was, I shit you not, 2 months later that he was locked up. So.
Not bad. Way to go.
Yeah, so, I knew he was lying, but I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, and sometimes you got to know your partner. It goes back to that, whatever number it was, know your partner, know who he or she is, just know them. Know their telltale signs of lying. Know, their everything if you possibly can. So.
Another one we've got here to take a look at is when they ignore or criticize your affections or thoughtful ways. An example of this are, why are you being so lovey-dovey, or I just don't feel like that today.
Yeah.
And again, you want to take a lot of these with a grain of salt because they could just be having an off day or what have you. I think really to put today's show to the best use, or this advice, you want to take pieces of these and put them together like a puzzle. Do a little bit of your own research and figure out, how much you want to know. Because I think fundamentally under all of this is if you have the suspicion that your partner is cheating, there's already that suspicion there. There's a lack of trust already in the relationship, which to me, even if they're not cheating, is a sign that something is wrong. So if you're in a marriage suspecting your partner is cheating, even if they're not and you want to work things out, go get some counseling and figure out, why is there this trust issue? Is it your own insecurities, or is it something that they're doing that's making you feel or perceive that they might be cheating? So a lot of different things to look at today. If you have questions about some of the tech gadgets or ways that we talked about earlier to access things, I think we've wrapped up a lot of that tech end of things, which was the GPS car trackers, hidden cameras, the whole bag of goodies. Or you have another question, give us a call here because we got 40 minutes or so left at 909-533-8302, and we will definitely answer any of those questions the best that we can and at least point you in the right direction, because I really want to steer away from giving companies names out that facilitate these things, or, you know, we'll point you in the right direction, but we're not gonna do the legwork for you.
Yes, totally. Oh man, like bad memories right now. It's horrible.
I know. This
Sharing those bad memories
drudges up so much.
Yeah, like it's like gloom and doom right now. We need to like liven it up. Like no more gloom and doom.
I can liven it up a little bit for you, Double Doll, because I actually was trying to tell you before the show, but now's a good time as any that I actually saw your daughter today.
You saw Kiara today?
I did, yes. I didn't like her act.
Yay!
Wow, play tropical music, it all goes quiet.
Where'd you see her at?
Oh, your ex was driving around and happened to catch sight of me, so he went back and forth being, well, lack of things I don't want to say on the air. He's being your ex.
Oh, he was being a total douchebag?
Partially, and your daughter was waving at me the whole time, so I was like, oh, how are you doing?
She's like, I'll go play! Yay! Aw, she's so cute. I miss her. I get to see her tomorrow, though. Yay! That makes me happy.
Really?
Watch her. Ow. Ah! I'm being dripped on evil water.
Do you want to switch places with me?
Huh?
You want to switch places with me? Go outside.
No, I'm fine. I'm good. I'm cool. I'm chill.
Are you sure?
Man, my eyeballs are fried from the computer today. I'm like, I wanted my glasses all day today, and I couldn't get to them because they were in your car. Bastard.
Oh, the hot car, you know, they gotta have pimping glasses.
I guess. They're like totally fried from working on the website. Like, I'll probably have migraine tomorrow.
Oh,
I'm also going cross-eyed. It's horrible.
So, Dr. John, what are you doing? Just listening to us, giggling in the background?
Yeah, I just zenned out. I went to my little zen garden. I was walking around and moving my little visual rake across the sand and just creating peace in my mind for a little bit.
Oh, well, that's good. Peace. Peace is good.
I know not of what you speak.
It was good. It was a good vacation. It was nice. I'm back now, though.
Awesome.
I went over earlier the ATM withdrawals and how cheating isn't free. We went over mysterious calls. Oh, man, I love this one, and we can't miss this one. You ask who it was. No one. Wrong number. Or why do you care if there's somebody calling in on the phone? That's such a huge one, especially if it's not telemarketer hours, like 2 a.m. Really? The wrong number 5 days in a row? Really?
At the same freaking time.
Oh my gosh!
Night.
And you have to leave right now because the pastor just called you into the church, and you're going right now, right after that anonymous call that was from an unknown person who dialed the wrong number. That might be it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, quite a
Oh wait, you're showering first
Or-
to meet the pastor?
Or when they answer the phone and you're having sex. That is like the worst.
Oh,
And then they stop having sex.
oh
What
hell
do you guys
no.
think of this one? I'll read it slowly because I know I've had a lot of caffeine tonight. So I'll read it slowly because I think there's a lot of potency here. You find a diaphragm, condom, birth control. However, you've either had a vasectomy or she's had a tubal ligation.
That is just nasty.
I think that's a good sign right there. If you, you know.
Yeah. Unless you have teenage children, then I would suggest you talk to them.
Oh, hell no.
Before you talk to your spouse. Just because if you have teenage children, they may fuck up at some point and accidentally leave that kind of stuff around. So, yeah. Definitely. If you're an older couple, you know, in your 40s or whatever, and you do have teenage children, talk to them first before you go after your spouse, because you never know.
It raises another good point. What if you're not being sexually active with your spouse, but either the man or the woman suddenly goes out and gets a prescription for male or female Viagra or Cialis? That might be a good sign. And then the pill bottle's half empty.
Yeah.
And use them on you.
You're like, hey, if you're taking these, where's my action, you ass?
Oh, thanks.
You're just like chronically masturbating or what?
Here's another question coming in from the chat room. It says, how do you get rid of a cheater that doesn't want to leave the relationship?
But he just wants to keep...
I think we'll all go around and answer this question because we're really, really good at cutting each other off. My answer to this question would be that you need to leave. If you feel the other person isn't going to leave for whatever reason, leave and battle out the possessions later in civil court. It's definitely not worth your energy to be in a negative situation. What do you think, Double Doll?
I would have to agree with you. Like if it's just you and that other person. Now, if there are children involved, it's a little bit more difficult, but I would still say, you know, pack up your crap and get out as fast as you can because it's just, it's going to get too complicated. So that person wants to be like a swinger and you're not into that, so it's not a healthy relationship, so just get out. What about you, Captain?
Well, you see, I want to go a little further and a little deeper into this because I think it also depends on the person's personality. See, I personally would kick the person out more than I would want to leave myself because if that's my personality, I will say fight. Huh?
Let's play with it. Let's play with that notion. I think you raise a good point, and I'd like to play with that notion. So you say kick the person out. Are you speaking that you solely own the house? Are you married? Is there California's got the domestic partnership, whatever, where you know it's common law and you both own the place? What do you do then if you're both owners of a trailer or a house?
Okay. To be honest, if this is how I would play it off, we're going to say it's just like Devil said, it's just two people, no children, so we're going to get rid of the complicated part of the drama. She's cheating. I'm not. She's going to this place 5 days a week. I'm not. Clearly, if she's there 5 days a week, then she can kick her ass right out to the place 7 days a week and live there full time, and I will keep my spot. You know what I mean?
Okay. What if they say no and they say, oh, I'm on the lease or I'm on the title and screw you and blah, blah, blah?
That didn't work for me.
Yeah, Dr. John, there are ways around that, but most importantly, I'm vindictive. So I am not, shall we say, above playing dirty tricks. And I mean, I will go straight childhood tricks. Everything from electrocuting doorknobs to just anything.
No, I hear that. But for the common person who might listen to our show that's not sadistic and trying to electrocute people, I think, you know, one way for the female, and I'll put this out there because I've got somebody who's dealing with it right now in my life, a close friend, is if you're female and there happens to be domestic abuse involved, then, you know, you go with the OFP realm, and that'll get them off the property and out of the place, even if they're on the title. And that's an order for protection. This question, I'll take it really quick. What if you each have your own home, but they're always, I'm fine with this phrase, cock blocking by coming over, and you don't want to get the cops involved for certain reasons? That's a really good question. I think, that's a really, really good question. I think again, we'll each answer this question so it's fair and you get a diverse opinion. My quick answer to this would be, unfortunately, for the time being, you'd have to go somewhere else to have sex, whether it be a hotel, motel. That's my advice quick on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that would be a good idea. Or, backseat of a car. Something.
There you go.
Pick a different location. Make an adventure out of it, I guess. I don't know. Just stay away from the other person. So that would be a good idea.
I'd agree with you, and it would seem like there'd have to be something underneath for this to be going on. In other words, if they're doing this blocking, prohibiting you from having interaction with another person, there's either some feelings there or they're just very vindictive, and somehow within the parameters of what's legal, without doing the Captain Jack and placing the electrical Home Alone type devices on the doorknobs, you want to get in there and legally do some things. Send some messages. You can look at a restraining order. You can look at different things. And again, I want to go back to, I do not and will never teach or talk about retaliation. Getting somebody out of your life in an appropriate manner is not retaliation. That's you looking after your own, saying, I've had enough. I want to go on with my life. Goodbye. So that's that piece. Just so that we're making it a balanced show, I want to make sure I go over and just recap briefly for the people who might just be joining us the different devices we went in today, how they can look at them. You can go to, I'll put the link in the room right now. It's thegigapig.com. You want to click on videos. And then when you click on the videos, you're going to see how to track a car, how to clone a cell phone, how to get a keylogger, which will allow you to see every keystroke that was placed on the computer. This can either be a physical device or a program, cell phone tracking, and just under the advisement that we gave at the beginning of the show that this is for informational purposes so that those who want answers for themselves can get them. And please do not confront people with this stuff. That's not what we're about. We're about giving out the information so that you can know and make a decision to better your life. We also talked about putting a super spy bugs or different things that are between $40 and $50 in the car. Very easy to hide. There's a whole list of them. You've got My Buddy that Best Buy sells. There's some other ones at Radio Shack that you can stick in the car, literally under the seat or wherever you want. The things are very small. You can see where the cars are going live time, track them, maps, the whole kit and caboodle. If you want to break it down, Captain Jack made some great points earlier about simplify it, go straight to the cell phone. We talked about tethering it with a USB cable and how you can get about 10, 15 minutes with the phone. You can get a program on there that will get you all the texts that they're sending, pictures, voicemails, all the way up to hearing their calls live time, if that's what you'd like to pursue.
There's even if you can get away with it, I have an app on my phone that sends all of my text messages to my email. Now, if you could put that, mysteriously stick it on their phone or whatever and just be like, okay, whatever, if they're stupid enough to, not notice. Or if they're, have an iPhone and they got, 500 different apps on there and they don't know every single app that they have. It's actually a really cool app to have. I put mine on there to save all the verbal abuse from my ex for when we go to court and everything. So I have all of that in my records.
Good point, and I just want to interject really quickly here in case somebody ever happens to listen to this. If you are someone who's going through a domestic abuse situation, pretty much everything that we're talking about today can be used to help you. But first, go and get a domestic abuse counselor. Go and get an OFP, because I personally have friends that have passed away because they didn't get the help in time. There's crisis centers out there. You can get help, even with children. Get away. If you don't have the information or you need help, financial resources, email the show at thedrjohnshow@gmail.com, and I will go to the end of the earth to try and figure out ways to help you, hook you with programs anonymously, and I'll leave it at that. But we will help you. There's other programs that will help you get out of the situation. You don't need to stay in it. And watch, the different warning signs that are out there that's going to indicate if someone has the capability or mentality to really do you harm.
Yeah.
Cool. Great point, Double Dog. You touched on a great thing. Thank you.
To be honest, I think that if I hadn't got out of my relationship when I did, it probably would have started to go violent. Probably on both of our ends. We were at each other's throat, and I think you got to look at that too, not just for your partner, but also for yourself. Like, if you're starting to get to that point where you're starting to get violent or feeling violent, you need to get away. You got to get out. Like, bad. There were days where I just wanted to beat the crap out of something. Just seriously, I would look at my ex and I would see red, and like it's not a good thing. So be aware of your partner, but also be aware of yourself. Like, don't get caught up in everything. Totally pay attention to your signs, your physical signs, your mental signs, everything, in order to keep yourself from doing damage to that other person, because it can turn around and backfire on you real quick. So,
well point. And I think, Captain Jack, did you have anything else to add or interject about tonight?
About what? Missed that last part, sorry.
Just different feelings, things you're having, closing notes, whatever. I feel like we've done a great job covering this, and we're never this serious during our show. So I was thinking we'll just wrap it up, put in your thoughts, and then we'll take a quick break and come back and just chill for the rest of the show. Just chill. People want to call in questions straight.
My personal motto is if you're too angry to talk about it rationally or calmly, you need to get away from the person for a little while. Like, I believe we touched on this earlier. If you have a volatile temper or you have built up rage or something, you need to express it before you confront someone. Definitely. Like, especially if it's been eating away at you, personally, I would go hit a punching bag or do something, or, whatever relieves that tension for you, run or something, until you are calm and mellow, because it could be all bad if you don't release some of that tension and be able to talk to that person in a calm manner.
Yeah. You have to physically exhaust yourself before you can go back and do it, because this is bad.
Whatever it takes to calm, because like Devil Doll was saying, you could see red in midway through the conversation if you don't do that, and that's all bad.
Yeah. Yeah. And there were quite a few instances with myself that is not good. And it is not good at all. So be aware of yourself and your partner. And just know each other. That's how it should be. What do you think, Doc? I think he's spaced out again.
The doctor's had a long medical session the last couple days, so
yeah.
Experiencing some lapse in concentration. Bear with us.
All right, you guys there?
Yeah, we're here. Are you?
Yeah, I'm here. All right, we're going to be taking a call from Benoit, who's got some questions about surveillance in his own house. and a couple questions about previous relationships. So, Benoit, you're on the Dr. John Show.
Hi. Yeah, I had considered doing surveillance like a decade ago on a relationship where there were some strong signs that cheating was involved. And I just thought about it, and my conscience said, you know what, I need to respect her free will. If she wants to wander, she can do what she wants, but it's also my free will to leave, and so I just made it that simple. But in that case, the surveillance would have been involved. I would have had to surveil stuff that wasn't clearly my property. Now I'm faced with a situation. I've got an abusive family member, had a restraining order on him for a year. He's acting up. Again, bad warning signs just in the past week that things are going to be bad. I need to do surveillance on my own property. I'm just not trusting of some of the spy shops in terms of, is what they sell really cost effective or the best thing.
Sure.
I need something that's cheap, undetectable, and it will be only on my own property. And trouble is a lot of these devices they're video only, and I very much need audio. So thank you for your time.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get to any of the other questions you might have too. The first thing that I can suggest is you're right. A lot of the spy companies that are out there or surveillance companies are BS, and you kind of, in some instances, you get what you pay for, and in other instances, you get ripped off. What I would probably suggest is first examining what you're wanting to surveil in your own home. And by that, is it a bedroom? Is it hallways, multiple rooms? What are you looking to surveil in your house? What kind of a area is it?
I guess just a living room would suffice, because it seems like that would probably do it for a start,
Okay. What I'd probably go with in a living room, there's a couple smoke detector models that you can use. There's also a carbon dioxide detector looking one that we can put up a link in our video area. I'd probably stay away from any of the nanny cams if it's in a living room. Go with your CO2 detector lookalike camera. There's also a bunch of wall-mounted clocks that you can use as a camera. Really, they stick them in just about everything. If you're ordering, I might suggest, and this is something you can take with a grain of salt, go to thegigapig.com, which is our website. On the right-hand side, you'll see an Amazon banner. If you buy anything off of there and it doesn't work right, we facilitate you getting a full refund plus your shipping back. So go with someone or something that you know is reputable, where you know you can trust the site and get your money back. On the bottom of the website, always, always, always look for VeriSign at your checkout when you're checking out, which is going to say that it's been checked out. There's a couple different companies that do the VeriSign type of spiel, so you know you're going to be covered. But I would definitely do that. A lot of them are going to include audio too, not so much the clock ones or the VCR lookalikes, but I know for a fact there's a carbon dioxide and a smoke detector one that does do that. And you bring up a great point with on your own property and stressing that, because it's completely okay to do as much surveillance as you want on your own property.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Were you going to type something in the chat then as to sites
I
that
will.
you look at? Okay.
Absolutely. I'll get you a couple links in the chat room right now as well. We'll put a couple videos up in our video area today so that you can actually see the models. And if you have any questions after that, if you're on our website, click Contact Us, and we'll rapidly answer any of your follow-up questions and direct you to a product that's going to leave you getting the answers you want, paying a fair price, and not getting ripped off in the process.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thanks for your call today. Awesome questions.
Having issues.
So cool. You guys ready for like a 3-minute break or so?
Dude. Sure.
We're back. That was Reggae by John Ross. A lot of the videos that we showed and equipment that was on the show today is available at thecakepig.com. And like we just mentioned to a caller earlier, we've partnered with Amazon. We've got a banner on the right-hand side of a lot of the pages that links to Amazon. So if you were to click that banner and then go ahead and enter spy cameras, you can look at a bunch of them. I actually just found one for $16.47. It looks like it's fairly easy to hide. And I'm going to get that information out in the chat room here momentarily, but it's a really simple device. It's got sound too. It's a LYD CM203 mini spy camera with audio. So I'll get that out to you in just a moment here.
Oh. Yes.
Are you playing with the cat?
Itty Bitty is attacking me.
He's hungry.
He's so cute.
I feel drunk.
You feel drunk?
Been up for too long today. Too much physical activity versus lack of sleep.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
Yeah.
That's why I passed out for 2 hours earlier. Or more like an hour and a half. We were helping people clean the house today. And then I was staring at the computer screen for hours on end. That was fun, though. In the computer stuff, though. I have the cute stuff that I want. Must have. Cute, cute, cute.
Wow, this was such a serious show. Like, if anybody were to listen to all of our other shows where we just, like, talk and have fun, this one was so serious.
I know. It's just horrible. Let's talk about something fun. Please. Like, now. Oh, when I was working on the site earlier, I wasn't sure if I did everything right. Did you check it out, Doc?
For which one?
The Amazon.
Oh yeah, the work that you did on the store today is amazing. It's really good.
Oh, cool. Yeah, because I was looking at some of the stuff, and I was like, oh, it's so cute. I want it, so I would click on it and add it. I was like, I want that. I know people who would want that. So it's cute.
So here's
and
the
then
thing.
I had to add the shoes. The shoes were just like calling to me. They were awesome. I was like, oh, thigh highs. Oh, sexy. Can I have those? The rain feels good. Yeah. Had to add those.
Can you believe
They were
it's raining
fun.
Little California in the middle of summer?
It's not. It's just now summer. It's not the middle of summer. It's only been summer for like a week.
Hey, it's a metaphor.
Well, it's a summer storm. Feels good. I want to go out in a random field somewhere. Just lay there. The rain.
In the rain.
That
It's
sounds
raining.
like fun.
Alright. We are all snoring. Nothing, I'm being stupid.
How about you, Doc? Do you like the rain?
I love the rain, and we certainly could use some of it out in this part of the world, out in the Midwest. It's been a little while, and I was out watering a bunch of plants today and kind of tending the garden, and could use some rain.
Could use some rain. Well, we have plenty of it today. I like the rain.
I went walking a couple hours ago.
Ah, man, I was hoping for some thunder and lightning today. Like, seriously, that would have been bomb. That would have been, like, so cool.
Maybe you'll get someone
Maybe it'll
else.
happen. Well, so that's what I miss about Utah, though, because, like, we used to get some bomb-ass thunderstorms. God, it was fantastic. And, like, out here, it's just like, meh. You get, like, 10 minutes of thunderstorms, and you're like, poo. That's just gay.
I moved to the Midwest for a little while where I met the good doctor. I learned what a thunderstorm really was. Being born and raised in Cali, anyone from California who's listening, I want to emphasize this point because a lot of my Cali friends do not believe me, but this is absolutely true, and I have Devil Doll and Dr. John to confirm this, that Midwestern storms are far shorter and far more intense than anything California that.
Yeah, they are. I love them. I love the hailstorms. I love the thunder, the lightning. I love it when the thunder is so loud it shakes all the windows in the house. It is, like, fantastic. It's like turning the bass up on your radio and just sitting on the subwoofer. It's awesome. I love it. Doc, are you falling asleep?
No, I'm not falling asleep. I managed to go get the smoke detector, and if you're still listening, Benoit, to the show, or anyone else who's listening, the reason we're having you go to thegigapig.com first and clicking the Amazon banner is if you go directly, unfortunately, Amazon has no idea that we sent you, and they will not give credit to the show. So that's no good.
That's no good.
So yeah.
No good.
Clicking the banner helps us out so that it lets Amazon know that you're actually listening to the show and we are sending people their way so that they'll keep sponsoring our shows, which would be great.
Yeah. Totally awesome. Go buy some sexy shoes, too.
Yeah. Then you put some incredible outfits in there. 10 pages of amazing outfits and things in there. And I think, tomorrow's show, I don't even remember what I was talking about that we should go into tomorrow. I know your idea sounded really good for tomorrow, the teen pregnancy and contraceptive measures, and should we go into that? That sounded like a really good one.
Yeah, because, like, I was a teen mom. I mean, not like in high school teen, but, I mean, I was 18 when I got pregnant and everything. So, like, I wish somebody had been around to really sit me down and talk to me about stuff like that. Like, so I would have been a little bit smarter in my choices. So,
and I think that's why I was so, like, addicted to Loveline, too. Like, I grew up with that show, just loved it.
I'm probably going to have to sleep inside tonight, because if I have to wake up in the middle of the night and go pee, I don't want to get all wet and then go back to bed, like, soaking wet, unless it's the good kind of wet. That would be okay. But I don't want to be cold and wet. I want to be hot and wet, not cold and wet.
Heard that last time with candle wet.
Huh? Well, that wasn't really wet. That was just hot and sticky, and I have burn marks, so that was kind of slightly. Huh?
You just bypassed the step. Instead of it being watery, it was sticky.
It was sticky and hot and really, really hot enough to burn. So, so that was fun. I had fun. We should do that again sometime, but, I'll have to get the right kind of candles. Ooh, that reminds me, I should probably find some to put on the site, because that would be awesome.
Oh, yeah, that would be really great. Because you were talking about yesterday, the special candles for dripping marks or whatever.
Hell yeah. Well, I put some fetish stuff on there, too, because we've been talking about the fetishes and stuff. So I was trying to find, like, the bondage and the fucking, like, the ball gags and shit like that. So I'll have to go back and revise some of the stuff, but I put some stuff on there. And then, I don't remember what else. But I gotta go back to the sex slave store and add some more stuff to that. But.
The glass, you found some amazing ones on the glass side of things. I had found like maybe 10, and then you found 9 more, added 9 more pages of the store of amazing glass toys. And
I was like, you know what? I love these things, so I'm going to add more. I was like, there's only like, what, 5 here? 5, 6 here? Nah, we can find more. So I had to. I was like, oh, they're so pretty. I want one.
Yeah, it's true. And I think, it's fair to say, just to tie into what we were talking about earlier today with people cheating and things of that nature, if one of the steps of maintaining a healthy relationship is that if there's things that your partner might want to experience or you just want to keep things fresh in the bedroom, you can visit our adult toy store, and it comes discreetly wrapped. It's not marked, anything like that.
Yeah.
And your order's confidential, and it's shipped out by Amazon, so they're a company you can trust. And you can visit our store, because keeping things fresh in the bedroom ultimately may just lead to people not cheating. So, I don't know.
Well, if we don't have, like, I want to put out there, if we don't have something that you're looking for specifically, tell us, and we'll find it and we'll put it in the store. So that way we can keep up to date with what our viewers like or want or whatever. So just let us know, and we'll find it. If we can't find it, we'll try to figure out how we can get that to you.
Yeah, like the Tanga egg. I'd never heard of that until somebody mentioned it to me. And then I looked at it and I was like, wow, that's pretty amazing. They're $6. They're a little tiny egg. And you can go watch a video on what they do. Pretty slick.
No. I added some adult videos on there, too.
I saw that. I saw Pirates was on there. One of my favorite movies.
Pirates. I've actually seen that one. I thought it was hilarious. It was good, but it was, like, hilarious because the main character is hecka funny. Because you're just watching
like
him
a full feature. Yeah, it's like a full feature film, too. You would think it would be more like, get dow, but no, it's a full feature film.
Yeah, and then I think they have a number 2 as well of Pirates, and then Pirates 2, Revenge of such and such, or whatever. And, like, the funny thing is between the rated R one and the X-rated one, there's, like, only 2 more sex scenes in, like, the X-rated one, I think. So.
I'm pretty sure it was one of the all-time top-selling, top-awarded movies of that nature ever.
Yeah. Well, everybody was, like, totally into pirates, and so they were like, oh, Pirates of the Caribbean, and then there's a Pirates Force? Let's go watch.
Actually, I want to interject here real quick. I was actually at a porn shop the other day with Doll, and actually, I have seen it all, and I actually had a picture that Devil Doll saw on my phone of Star Trek Next Generation porn made.
Oh, yeah, the Star Trek one? That was so funny.
I have officially seen it all when I see Star Trek porn.
Yeah, he was, like, geeking out about that. That was funny. He's like, oh, snap. Yeah, I was geeking out. Ew. I touched something sticky. Ew.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
I think it was the cat.
That was amazing, and for some reason, it just came into my head to remind people to check the expiration dates on contraceptive devices and condoms before you use them.
Totally. I mean, like, condoms can last, like, what? The maximum of, like, 5 years? Some shit like that.
A year, they say now. They say a year now.
Only a year? Oh, I've seen some of the expiration dates on them, and they're, like, they go, like, 5 years. I guess.
I guess
it depends on how you store it.
For a year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point, how you store it, yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
If it's in your wallet
if you're a guy,
every day,
I wouldn't trust it in the wallet for over a month, to be honest.
No, not at all. Especially if you're one that
I carry condoms in, like, those cigarette holders?
Yeah.
They have, because they're hard, so, like, if you just stick a couple of them in there and you have them, they're not going to get too damaged. Like if you throw them in your purse or whatever, you know, they're in a safe spot, but you have them on you just in case. Like you go to the bar, you meet somebody or whatever, and they're like, oh, hey, I do have condoms. Ta-da! And they're not all squished. So.
It's going to do it for us, everybody. This has been How to Catch a Cheater on the Dr. John Show. We were joined today by Devil Doll and Captain Jack out on the West Coast, and myself, Dr. John, covering in between Las Vegas and the Midwest. We are going to see you next time. Thanks very much for listening, and hang in there. Be safe.
Hey, my name's Courtney, and you're listening to The Dr. John Show on Blog Talk Radio. Very sexy.